What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kevin Jackwitz, and this is the Kaged Review, and this is getting back into movie reviews, of course, with The Batman. There's a lot of things that I missed, and this was one of the biggest movies that I missed. Personally, I was so looking forward to this movie, and wound up getting arrested and doing 17 months in jail. What the hell? What are the odds that's going to happen? So, coming in very, very late, catching up on the last 2 years worth of movies starting here, and I have the Suicide Squad, I have Blue Beetle, The Flash. I think there's another one in there somewhere. Can't remember it all right now. But anyway, The Batman. Amazing movie, man. Like, I've seen this twice already, and it just grabs you and doesn't let go. And all the performances in here are phenomenal. Matt Reeves is the director. He talked about how he had a vision, like kind of one an old noir style Batman detective. And he just absolutely killed it. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of those people that was like, I don't know if Robert Pattinson is the right fit for this. I know Robert Pattinson is an amazing actor, you know. He's so good at everything he does, and we're going to take Twilight and that whole series and just kind of throw it in the garbage, because it was garbage. But he really is an amazing actor. And so I kind of trusted Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson as artists. And he was so good at it, man. Like, honestly, he really killed the Bruce Wayne, I want to say, like, the orphan feel, like, you know, the pain, the anguish. And it's funny because everybody was making jokes because, you know, everybody expected it to be very emo, and they were right. But that's kind of, it does fit the character for Bruce Wayne, you know. This is somebody coming to terms with some major tragic losses in his life and is filled with anger and hurt, and now he has to try to deal with all those emotions. And this is a much younger Bruce Wayne here. So I think that it fit. And there were times when you saw the anguish and the pain on his face. And Robert Pattinson, some of these scenes, especially there's a cemetery scene where there's not like a whole lot of dialogue from him. It's just like, you know, facial tics and things like that. And he really does evoke a lot of emotion like that. So I loved it. Like, I can't say enough about his ability. Zelina Kyle. And this is Zoe Kravitz. Zoe was pretty phenomenal as Catwoman as well. Like, that's another actor in this movie that was just inspired casting. But you want to talk about inspired casting. Like, everybody talked about how Colin Farrell is unrecognizable with the prosthetics as the Penguin in this movie. Look, this guy is just phenomenal in this movie. It's a different, more serious take on the Penguin, on Cobblepot. And I love that. I think it's very, very cool that they were able to transform Farrell into this character, this very over-the-top character, and like, you don't recognize him at all. But he still has the ability to evoke enough emotion with his face to really sell the emotions in the scenes that he's in, and it was great. And the other character in here that obviously is very prominent is the Riddler, who is really the main villain in here. Paul Dano is so good as the Riddler. There's this little scene, maybe 3/4 of the way through the movie, where there's just a conversation between Batman and the Riddler, and you really get the idea of the psychosis of the Riddler. Paul Dano plays that off so well, and like, you want to talk about evoking a feeling. This guy, he really sells himself as nuts, and it was great. I loved it, absolutely loved it. So as far as the action, honestly, I want to say that they used a lot of practical effects here, and I think that's true in this car chase scene. Like, I think it was a genuine car chase scene where there wasn't as much CGI used, and it was so good. it's kind of cool because the Batmobile, like in the trailers for the movie, you were like, I don't know, this is just like a revamped car. And it was, but that was kind of the point. It's like Batman first figuring out how to do this, first creating things. And there's even one point in the movie where like he tries to start up the Batmobile and it just kind of like kicks over and dies for a second, and then of course starts. So, you get the idea that this guy's just trying to figure out what he's doing. He's just learning himself. And I thought that was really, really cool. But then it goes into this amazing sequence where there's a chase between Batman and the Penguin. And on the freeway, it's, super intense, really great action sequence. One of the better chase scenes I've seen with maybe the best chase scene I've seen with a Batmobile. Very, very, very cool. So I love how detailed Matt Reeves was with evoking the emotion of Bruce Wayne, but also kind of detailing the detective side of the Batman, because we've all seen the Batman as, this badass, taking down people, got a lot of gadgets, really rich. We've seen all of that. But the detective part, like we've had glimpses here and there, but this really brought it home by showing, Batman actually trying to solve clues and some of the tools and devices he uses to solve some of these clues and some of the processes he goes through. And I thought that was really a nice take, which we kind of knew this was going to be a detective Batman movie. Like we had that, before we had the movie. But to see it play out was really, really well done. It really was. And that way, I think it was important to have that if you're going to have this fresh take on Batman. Because let's face it, Batman's been done a number of times. And even this movie, originally, I believe it was supposed to be Ben Affleck and his own solo Batman movie. Obviously, that didn't pan out with everything that happened with the Justice League, and we won't get into that. But when you bring in now another Batman, you got to have another take. You got to have something fresh. And I feel like Matt Reeves really, really did that in spades. So it does leave you a little bit of a kind of a cliffhanger, something to tie you into the Batman 2 with another new villain. And I like that they did that because, obviously this is your new franchise here, so you better run with it. But I thought it was great. It was a 3-hour movie that did not feel 3 hours at all. As a matter of fact, I was enraptured through most of it. It went very, very quickly for me. So, very exciting. Honestly, if I have to grade this, I'm gonna give it a 10. Straight up, 10 out of 10. I loved everything about this movie. The acting was phenomenal. The direction was amazing. The cinematography was really, really good. The score in this was amazing. So all of that put together, man, it was just a damn good movie. For what they were trying to do, I feel like they hit the nail on the head, and I loved every second of it. I really did. So that's where I'm at with it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.